A Fox Undercover investigation getting national attention and leading to a call for congressional hearings.
Our investigative team discovered the federal government is releasing illegal aliens who are violent criminals, even though they're supposed to be held until they are deported to their home countries. And now investigative reporter Mike Bodette with alarming news about just how often it's happening.
The murder of a disabled 16-year-old from Revere is now shining a spotlight on a national problem. One of the teen's killers is an illegal immigrant who was supposed to be held and then deported when he got out of prison last year. The federal government took him into custody, but then released him back onto the streets of Massachusetts. And now we've learned this scenario is not unique. It's happening all the time here in Massachusetts and around the country.
I'm kind of outraged about it because I wouldn't have just let it go. I would have fought him, and it might have still been going on.
Sandra Hutchinson questioning why she ever agreed to plea deals for her son's killers. 16-year-old Ashton Klein McMurray was stabbed and beaten to death here in Revere in 2000. The Suffolk County District Attorney's Office charged 4 teenagers, believed to be gang members, with murder. But they pleaded guilty to lesser charges, ranging from manslaughter to second-degree murder. Hutchinson says she was told her son's killers who are in this country illegally would be deported once they got out of prison.
They said that they would never set foot basically on American soil again. In other words, they'd be like in jail until they got sent back.
Last March, the parole board released Lone Heng into the custody of ICE, Immigration and Customs Enforcement, which planned to deport Heng to his homeland, Cambodia. But now Heng is back on the streets of Massachusetts, living in Everett, freed by the federal government.
It's crazy. It's crazy. They're just letting him right back out there to do it to somebody else. That's all.
Because of the seriousness of the crime Heng committed, the federal government was supposed to keep him in custody until he was sent home. But ICE says it had to release Heng because of the U.S. Supreme Court in a 2001 ruling, Zavidas versus Davis. With few exceptions, like someone being a terrorist threat, ICE can only detain illegal immigrants for 6 months while trying to get their home countries to agree to take them back. Now we've discovered Heng is just one example of ICE releasing criminal aliens who are supposed to be detained until they're deported. Since 2008, ICE says it's been forced to release more than 1,700 criminal aliens because of the Supreme Court ruling, including 80 in the Boston area.
It doesn't make any sense. That's such a large number that we need to be concerned about the impact on public safety.
Jessica Vaughn is with the Center for Immigration Studies. She says the federal government occasionally checks in on the criminal aliens it releases and also gives them some perks.
These are truly the worst of the worst individuals who are in deportation proceedings. And these are the ones who essentially get off the hook with a work permit, a driver's license, and freedom in the United States just because their country won't take them back.
Our investigation is already getting national attention.
An illegal immigrant convicted of brutally murdering a disabled 16-year-old boy.
And it's also getting the attention of Congress. House Judiciary Committee Chairman Lamar Smith tells Fox Undercover it is outrageous that thousands of dangerous criminal aliens have been released to our streets. Criminal aliens should be detained and deported, period. Over the coming months, the House Judiciary Committee will hold hearings to close loopholes in our laws that facilitate this dangerous problem. There is no excuse for placing American lives at risk. Welcome news to Jessica Vaughn, especially given the numbers we obtained, which show the scope of the problem.
We've gotten to the point where it's time for the federal government to take other action to convince these countries that they need to cooperate with us.
Vaughn says the State Department could pressure countries to cooperate by refusing to issue certain types of visas to countries that won't take back their citizens. Or Congress could change the law so that ICE can hold criminal aliens if they're believed to be a threat to public safety. The State Department declined to comment. A spokesman for the Suffolk County DA's office says prosecutors could never promise someone would be deported because that's a decision that's out of their hands.